Last time I had picked up the Canon EOS 33 and the lens it had come with was a 22 to 55 something zoom. I promptly got rid of that lens after shooting one roll with it, although it was fun for that one roll. And instead I started looking for a fast 50mm lens to put on it because that's really the only focal length that I shoot. Two lenses which jumped to mind immediately were the Canon 51.4 and the Sigma 51.4, both reasonably priced. Both I'd previously owned and shot on digital bodies, so I knew them pretty well and I knew they were both good lenses. But I didn't really know how they performed on film. The Sigma is a much sharper lens. It's a much more modern lens. It's twice the price and twice the weight of the Canon 51.4. But I didn't really know if that sharpness would really be apparent on film. So I wanted to do some side-by-side shots. I shot through half a roll of HP5, a shot on the Canon, and then a shot on the Sigma. I shot everything wide open just so I could really get a feel for how they're going to render. And these are the results. So I shot the Canon first and then the Sigma second for every shot. Let's have a look at the side-by-side for this first shot, which is a brick wall at around 1 meter. Now at fit size, you can immediately see on the right that the Sigma looks like it has better micro contrast. The Canon looks a little bit hazier. Let's jump into 100%. And the difference isn't quite as big as I expected. I mean, considering both are shot at 1.4, from around 1 meter, the detail looks absolutely fine to me. It's not until you get into the corners that you can see the Sigma's got a huge lead in terms of sharpness. The Canon just looks, quite frankly, awful in the corners wide open. But I've got more to talk about in this next photo because, again, Canon on the left, Sigma on the right. First of all, I noticed that the Canon does have this distortion. You can see it's kind of, what do they call it, like a pincushion type effect, where it appears to bulge towards you in the middle, whereas the Sigma's rendering is as flat as the wall was, or still is, I hope, since it's the side of my house. But it's interesting once you zoom in again to 100% that the Sigma has missed focus on a flat surface at 3 meters. And you'll see this focusing topic comes up a couple more times during this video. Heading into the corners, you can see the Canon is not terrible, but still quite hazy, kind of smeary looking. And the Sigma actually looks better in the corners than the middle. I'm not sure what that is a result of. Jumping to the shot of a rubbish truck probably at around 1 meter, maybe slightly less. Let's jump into the point of focus. So I focused it on this area here, I believe, or possibly just next to it. Again, Canon on the left, Sigma on the right. The Canon holds its own. There's really no slouch, even wide open. It doesn't have a great reputation of being sharp wide open, but I think it's totally usable wide open, especially at close distances, maybe not once you back off a little bit. But I do have to note that the Sigma appears to have misfocus, and you can especially tell up around on this little screw in here that the Canon has just left the plane of focus, whereas the Sigma shot appears to have grabbed that point of focus. Well, this was the focus area, and that's what's in focus, so it appears to be front focusing. Note that that screw there is quite clear compared to the hazy mess that is the Canon's, but again, there's the focus difference. It's hard to really draw a conclusion there. And this is the first shot with any sort of background in it, and this will come up again, but there is definitely a difference in the rendering of the backgrounds. Another shot at about the same distance of the Fujifilm X-T4, great camera. Let's jump in close. Very similar here. Again, it looks like the Sigma has focused slightly in front of where the Canon focused. This name plate, this badge area was the point of focus. But even though it's possibly slightly missed the point of focus, it's very close and certainly a lot clearer through this grip sort of texture area next to the lens. And again, as you can definitely see, the sort of haze that's characteristic of the Canon 50 wide open. Note the background here. So what we're starting to see is that the Canon bokeh balls are certainly not circular. I think that's the cat's eye shape, whereas the Sigmas are quite circular, quite creamy. And if you just look at the general direction of the Canons as well, that's sort of this swirly sort of effect. If you look at where they start and finish in the shape, it's a circular swirl in the background there. Now, whether that's pleasing to you is subjective, but I'm a fan of how the Canon renders that. Lastly, I just simply shot both lenses into that same background at their minimum focus distances to truly get a picture of what the blurry background is going to look like. And once again, the Sigma is very creamy. It looks nice. It looks really nice. But the Canon's got that swirl. You can really see it's quite pronounced now. A full swirly background. I really like it. I dig that lens. I dig that effect. So my final decision at the end of all that is to keep the Canon lens and to sell the Sigma lens. The Sigma is obviously a better performer when it comes to image quality, but I don't think the trade-off is going to be worth it when it comes to the Canon's price, the weight, the size of it, and the fact that I'm not going to have to mess around with focus micro adjustments. I'm not going to have to go and buy that Sigma USB dock and burn through a few rolls of film just to get the focus just right. I'm going to stick with the Canon lens. I'm going to force myself to be happy with it. Nah, that's not putting it right. I am already happy with that Canon lens, and I've shot a ton of photos before on digital with that lens, which I'm also very happy with. So yeah. So the Canon lens wins the day for me, but I'd be interested to hear what everyone's thoughts are below. And in other channel news, I've got a lens coming, which I've had my eye on for a very long time. I'm very excited to receive it, and that's the Pentax 6.7 105mm 2.4 with an adapter for Pentax 645, so I can try that on the 645 N2 and the 645Z, and hopefully make a couple of videos around that famous lens. So keep an eye on the channel for that.